Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into something called multimodal AI. Now, this is a technology that's basically teaching computers to see, hear, and, well, understand the world a lot more like we do. If you're looking to get a handle on the next big shift in tech and what it's going to mean for your industry, then you are in exactly the right place.
All right, so let's get right into it. Here's what we've got on the agenda. First, we'll go beyond just a single sense to see how we understand things. Then we'll nail down what multimodal AI actually is, take a peek at how it works, and then the fun part, look at it in action with some incredible real-world examples. And finally, we'll talk about why the future is definitely multimodal.
So, to really grasp what makes this multimodal AI thing so special, let's start with something we all do without even thinking about it: how our own brains work. I want you to think about this for a sec. How do you actually understand a joke? When someone tells you one, what's really going on up there? Is it just about the words? No way, right? It's so much more than that. You're picking up on their sarcastic tone of voice. You see that little smirk on their face. You get the context of the situation. You are, without even trying, blending all these different streams of information: sound, sight, language, to get the whole picture. And that, right there, that's being multimodal. Okay, so let's take that exact same idea and apply it to AI. What happens when we teach a machine to think in more than just one dimension at a time? So the key word you're going to hear is modality. I know, it sounds a little technical, but trust me, it's super simple. A modality is just a type of information. Text is one modality and image is another. Audio is a third. You can basically think of them as the AI's version of senses. And this is where we see the really critical difference. For the longest time, AI was unimodal, meaning it was in its own little lane. It could analyze text, or it could analyze images, but never both at the same time. Well, multimodal AI just smashes those walls down. It can look at a picture, read the caption, and listen to someone talking about it all at once to get a way deeper, more complete understanding of what's going on. Okay, but how does this actually work? How does a machine take all these different kinds of data and squish them together into something useful? Let's take a quick simplified look under the hood. It really boils down to three basic steps. First, you have the input. The AI just gobbles up all the different data: text, video, whatever you throw at it. Then comes the really cool part: fusion. This is the secret sauce. This is where the AI isn't just looking at things one by one. It's finding the hidden connections between them. And finally, you get the output. Based on that combined, fused understanding, it generates one unified insight, or action. And really, it all comes down to this classic idea from Aristotle: the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It's just like that joke example from earlier. The understanding you get from the text, plus the image, plus the audio, it's just so much richer than what any of those could tell you on their own. Okay, enough theory. This is where it gets really cool. Let's look at how this stuff is actually being used out in the real world right now. And believe me, the applications are all over the place. We're talking generative AI for art, we're talking advanced driver assistance systems in cars, enhanced medical diagnostics, even things like interactive customer service and smart retail analytics. I'm sure you've seen this first one. When you go into a tool like DALL-E or Midjourney and type in a wild text prompt like "an astronaut riding a horse on Mars in the style of Van Gogh." That is a multimodal AI at work. It has to deeply understand the language, the text, and then translate that complex idea into a totally new image. Or what about smarter cars? A self-driving car isn't just relying on its cameras. That would be crazy. It's fusing that visual data with information from radar, which tells it how far away things are, and from LiDAR, which is building this constant 3D map of everything around it. It's that fusion of all its different senses that lets it safely navigate a super complex street. And here's one that has some serious impact: medical diagnosis. Imagine an AI that can read a doctor's written notes in a patient's chart, and at the same time analyze their X-rays or MRI scans. By finding patterns across both the text and the images, it can spot early signs of a disease that even a brilliant doctor, looking at each piece separately, might have missed. So, what's the big deal here? The crucial point is that this multimodal AI stuff, it's not just some nerdy niche technology. It's a fundamental shift. A totally new way of thinking about how we use data, and really, how computers are going to understand our world from now on. And if you're wondering, why now? Well, check out this number. A staggering 90% of all the data in the entire world was generated in just the last 2 years. And you know what?
Most of it isn't nice, clean text in a spreadsheet. It's all the messy stuff, unstructured photos, videos, audio clips. So for any business, being able to make sense of this ocean of data, to understand what a customer really means in a video review, or to hear that a machine is about to break just from its sound, that is a massive, massive advantage. And that really brings us to the big takeaway. We are watching AI move from just processing information to actually truly understanding context. It's the difference between an AI that can read the words in a sentence and one that actually gets the joke.
So I'll just leave you with this to chew on. As this technology keeps getting better and better, how will machines that can see, hear, and understand the world in this more human-like way, how is that going to change your industry, your job, your day-to-day life? Because the possibilities, well, we're just starting to scratch the surface.